Let's get real, man. In today's dating world, it feels like the more you care about a woman, the less she wants you. You give her attention, loyalty, and emotional support. She gets bored. You show affection, consistency, and honesty. She pulls away. But the guy who barely calls her back doesn't compliment her and doesn't act like he needs her. She's obsessed. And as frustrating as that sounds, it's the cold truth. Now, before you throw your hands up, understand this isn't about being toxic. It's about understanding female psychology in a world that's changed. Women today are overstimulated. Social media, dating apps, attention everywhere. So what stands out to them now isn't the nice guy. It's the one who's unaffected. The one who's not begging for her time. The one who doesn't make her the center of his world. That's the man she chases. Women only want men who don't care about them. Not because they want pain, but because indifference creates mystery, and mystery creates value. When you don't prioritize her over your purpose, she wonders why. When you don't react to her games, she gets curious. When she can't control your emotions, she starts craving your attention. This video isn't about playing games. It's about giving you real, grounded tactics to flip the script, to stop losing your power and start commanding respect, desire, and attention without chasing. You're going to learn how to make a woman feel your presence even when you're silent, and make her miss you without saying a word. Let's get into it. Here are 7 powerful tactics that prove women only want men who don't care about them. 1. Stop showing all your feelings. A man who constantly expresses every emotion he feels becomes too predictable, too available, and eventually too boring. In the beginning, you might think being open about your emotions will help her feel secure, and maybe it will for a moment. But in the long run, when a woman sees that she has full access to how you feel, what you think, and how much you want her, the mystery dies. And when the mystery dies, so does the desire. Women are not drawn to emotional openness the way men think they are. They're drawn to strength. And in the dating world, emotional strength means being able to feel without always having to reveal. It means having self-control. It means knowing that not every feeling needs to be shared. You don't have to tell her you miss her the moment you feel it. You don't have to respond with paragraphs when she gives you one-word replies. You don't have to explain your every emotion hoping it will bring her closer. It won't. When a woman feels like she completely owns your emotional world, she stops chasing. She knows there's no challenge left. But when you pull back, not in a rude way, but in a composed, grounded, and centered way, she starts questioning. Why isn't he chasing like the others? Why isn't he opening up so easily? That curiosity becomes attraction. Modern women are surrounded by emotionally available men who try to talk about feelings too soon. But the man who can feel everything and still say very little, that man has control. That man becomes the one she wants, because he's not emotionally needy. He's not validation hungry. He doesn't place her as the center of his emotional world. And that's what gives him power. Let's look at a real-life example. Imagine 2 men. One texts her every morning, tells her he misses her after 2 days, pours his feelings into every message. The other man? He takes his time. He doesn't always respond instantly. He keeps conversations calm and light. He never says too much. Guess who she thinks about more? Not the one who floods her phone with feelings, but the one who leaves her wondering where she stands. Because uncertainty, in her emotional mind, builds tension. And that tension pulls her in. You don't have to fake being cold. You just need to master being composed. That's what it means to stop showing all your feelings. You protect your emotions, not because you're weak, but because you understand their value. You stop handing out your vulnerability like it's a free sample, and when she earns the right to see it, on your terms, she respects you more. That's the truth most men ignore. Caring too loudly makes you common, but emotional discipline, that makes you rare. 2. Choose purpose over her. When a man places a woman above his mission, she eventually places him beneath her respect. That's how it works. The moment your life starts revolving around her instead of your goals, she senses it, and something shifts. She may not say it, but she starts to feel it. She begins to test more, pull back more, and challenge you more. Not because she wants you to fail, but because she wants to feel your strength. And in her world, strength is a man who stays focused on his purpose, no matter how attractive she is. You have to understand this. A woman wants to feel that she is chasing a man who is chasing something bigger than her. If your attention is constantly on her, her calls, her texts, her moods, she starts to lose interest. Why? Because now she's your mission, and deep down she doesn't want to be. She wants to witness your mission, be part of your lifestyle, be inspired by your ambition, but not replace it. When a man has no direction, no grind, no fire, he turns a relationship into his identity. And that's the quickest way to lose his edge. Women don't fall in love with a man who depends on them emotionally or uses them as an escape from his reality. They fall for the man who's building something with or without them, the man who doesn't wait around, the man who's too busy leveling up to stress about where he stands with her. Let's get personal. Picture a guy who cancels a gym session, skips his work, ignores his goals, just to spend time with a girl who barely respects him. At first, she might enjoy the attention, but over time, she'll start seeing him as weak. He's always available. He's always ready to drop everything for her. That tells her he has no solid foundation of his own. And women don't truly love a man they can interrupt. They love a man they have to earn time with. Now flip the script. Think about a man who's focused, he's disciplined, he's working towards something. He tells her he'll see her after his business meeting, after his training, after his creative work. He doesn't say it to disrespect her. He says it because that's his truth. His life doesn't stop because she entered it. That's the man who commands respect. That's the man who doesn't chase, he attracts. Choosing purpose over her doesn't mean neglecting her. It means prioritizing yourself first, mentally, emotionally, and professionally. And the moment she sees that your path doesn't bend for her, she starts moving in your direction. Not because you begged, but because you stood tall in your mission. You want her respect? You want her desire? Stop giving her all your time. Give your mission your time. And watch how she suddenly values the time she does get with you. 3. Never react to her games. One of the biggest traps men fall into is reacting emotionally when a woman starts playing games. She takes longer to text back, flirts with other guys, withdraws affection, or suddenly becomes distant. And the average man immediately starts to panic. He doubles his efforts, chases harder, asks questions like, "Is something wrong?" or "Did I do something?" And just like that, he gives away his power. Here's what you need to understand. Women test. Not always consciously, but they do it. Especially when they sense you're too available, too emotionally invested, or too easy to control. These games are not random. They're her way of measuring your strength, your control, and your emotional discipline. If you get rattled by her behavior, she'll lose respect, even if she caused the situation in the first place. The man who doesn't care, or at least doesn't show that he cares, has the upper hand. Not because he's cold, but because he understands one crucial principle. Her games don't define his behavior. He doesn't jump through hoops. He doesn't chase for validation. And he definitely doesn't beg for clarity. He stays calm, controlled, and focused on his life. And guess what? That drives her crazy in the best way. Let's break it down with an example. She takes 6 hours to respond to your message. Most men would get upset and reply instantly when she finally texts back, trying to win her attention again. The man who knows his worth, he doesn't even blink. Maybe he replies later. Maybe he doesn't. Not out of pettiness, but because he's not performing for her attention. His world doesn't stop because she's acting funny. And when she starts to see that her emotional shifts don't shake him, she becomes more invested. Why? Because most men fold under pressure. Most men chase when they feel distance. Most men need reassurance. But the man who's unbothered, he becomes a mystery. She starts to think, why isn't he reacting? Does he have someone else? Is he really that confident? And those thoughts create emotional attachment. This doesn't mean ignoring everything or letting disrespect slide. It means you don't overreact to petty behavior. You don't let her mood swings dictate your energy. You don't lower your standards to accommodate her confusion. Instead, you maintain composure. You hold the frame. You set the tone. Think of it like this. When she pushes, you don't pull. You stand still. When she withdraws, you don't chase. You observe. That energy tells her, I'm not here to be tested. I'm not here to earn what I already bring to the table. And that silence speaks louder than any emotional outburst ever could. A woman respects a man who doesn't flinch when she acts unpredictable. Because if you can't handle her little games, how can you handle life's bigger challenges? Never react emotionally to her games. Respond like a man who's been here before. Calm, centered, unmoved.